Yay! Oh, you look incredible. That looks freaking awesome.
Welcome, fellow makers. I'm Bill, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble your Mechanist costume. Hey guys, it's Bill here, and I've got my Mechanist costume all done. I figured I'd take a chance here to show you how some of the pieces go together and how I put it all on me. All right, buckle up. While I buckle up, let's do this. To get started, all of the armor pieces are attached to some coveralls. These were perfect. They were purchased as is, and they look almost identical to the ones that the Mechanist wears in Fallout 4. The pauldrons are attached to the coveralls using some snaps. One side of the snaps were stitched to the coveralls, and then the other side were hot glued to the inside of the pauldrons. Then they just snap together and float on my shoulders. This is really handy so that you can take them off and wash your coveralls. The elbows and knees were very similar, except I used Velcro. This let me adjust them a little bit as they could float around just a touch. Velcro was stitched to the coveralls, but on the inside of the foam for the knee pads, I stitched the Velcro to a piece of vinyl cloth, and then that was glued down to the inside of the foam. For the sleeves, I added a little piece of elastic where my thumb will go through. Isn't it super annoying when you put your arm through your gauntlet and the sleeve rolls up? Never again, not with the thumb loop. My robot gloves are just some hardware store gloves that I painted up to look all nice and shiny. I put some snaps on the back of these gloves and also on the corresponding hand plates. These hand plates had some elastic on them so that they can float a little bit as the hand moves. For the left hand, the Mechanist does have a Pip-Boy, a very basic one, so I made an area where my cell phone will fit. Then I can load up the Pip-Boy app on there and make it look all legit. I do still have to make a little plate that covers it so you don't see my bright white iPhone. The shoes I'm particularly proud of. They're built off an old pair of running shoes with some foam glued to them for the toe and heel caps. On the side of the shoes, I zip tied some snaps. These are to attach it to the ankle. The corresponding snaps are on the inside of the boot cuffs. These are not attached directly to the foam. Instead, they're stitched onto a piece of elastic that is then glued down to the foam. This way, when the boot cuff is easily snapped right down to the shoe, it attaches it, but it also gives it a lot of flexibility. Not only can it rotate around the snap, but it also can float in other directions. This way, the snap will not pop off when I take a step too far, and this gives the ankle an incredible amount of mobility. This can be really handy when you're running to get in line at Hall H at Comic-Con. I did a couple videos on the helmet. I'll link those down in the description. In particular, you can see the removable 3D printed antenna. If we take a peek on the inside of the helmet, we can see some interesting features. For example, the mouth grill is covered with a piece of black sheer cloth. This way you can't see in, but I can breathe out, which is incredibly handy. You can also see through the custom eye goggles that I made. This is a drastic step up from my Lord Shaxx helmet, which only had one eye hole in the middle of my face. Now with double the eye holes, I can see like a normal person. The last piece is the torso, and it's made in two halves. The front half houses all of the electronics for the voice modulator. That has a microphone on the end of the wire that'll get fed up through the neck hole towards my mouth. Finally, the front and back of the torso pieces are snapped together using some big plastic buckles. This is exactly the sort of thing you need a cosplay buddy for. It can actually be really tricky to get into this thing by myself. And there you go, that is the whole costume. Hopefully you learned a thing or two or picked up a couple of things that might be handy for the next costume that you put together. There you go, one more costume in the bag. I'm actually at San Diego Comic-Con right now, sweating my butt off in this costume, hanging out with you guys. So I better get back to it. In the meantime, I'll leave you with some shenanigans. See ya. It's already getting very hard to see. Getting a little foggy in here. Gonna have to fix that before the convention. Hello and welcome to Fallout Cribs. Here is my house behind me and all of my junk. As you can see, I've got a lot of aluminum cans. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but there's like a ton of aluminum in there and springs too. You wouldn't believe how many springs I have. All right. Boom. Wow.
Awesome.